All right, what is your name and where are you from?
I'm Kimberly Butler and I'm from New York, New York.
Oh, can you do a New York accent? Are you doing one already?
No, this is the way I speak.
Okay.
What do you want me to talk like this over here?
Yeah.
I'm from New York. I went to NYU over here. I was a University Honor Scholar, even though I talk like this. And I never went to class. I hung out over here. I smoked pot and I thought of great ideas, which then I turned into a magnificent career over here. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Cut.
Okay, I have another actually NYU specific question. What are your thoughts on the NYU bubble? Have you ever noticed how a lot of the NYU students, they're only like mingling with other NYU students?
I don't know nothing about that.
You don't know nothing about
before
that? No? It wasn't like that when you went there?
No.
So the NYU students mingled with the native New Yorkers as well?
Yes, we actually did.
Really?
Well, because we were an urban school. I commuted.
Uh-huh.
But I valet parked.
Right.
So it was fantastic.
Because I had talked to an NYU student, a senior, a month ago. He told me he's a senior. He doesn't know a single New Yorker. Everybody he knows is an NYU
Okay, he's
student.
a fucking idiot. Okay.
No, but he's
Make
also
sure.
probably not from this area.
No, he's from
and
Florida.
That's what it is.
Yeah, but you make friends. You sit
Right,
down.
No, because he wanted to just like, yeah.
Yeah, I'll
A
make
lot
a
of people,
friend.
they feel safer or more comfortable around people within their own demographic.
Well, that's a serious problem.
Yeah.
Okay, now I don't want. You can play around with that one with the New York accent, but I do not speak that way.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you're still rolling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What,
So-
you want me to cut anything out?
Yeah. I don't. Well. All right. So we're messing around. I don't know what I said in between there.
Uh-huh.
Nothing wrong. Nothing
Yeah.
bad, right? No, nothing bad. Okay. So I'm Kimberly Butler, and this really is the way I speak. Okay. We're in Washington Square Park, which NYU surrounds. I did go to the film school here, but I ended up going into photography. Why? One of the biggest reasons was there were too many politics, and the glass ceilings against women was impenetrable. I had the same professor as Marty Scorsese. And when we went to complain to him, 2 or 3 of us women, that our films weren't being shown, that the boys would have their films shown and then the time would be up and ours would never get shown, he says, oh, doesn't matter. You don't belong in Hollywood anyway. Don't worry about it. Today, his ass would get fired. Okay? All right. So I went into photography, of which I took a lot of classes with. I loved it. I could work alone. And I ended up having a phenomenal career. And really, thanks to Tom Drysdale, who was my senior professor, who went on to run the whole program, because I would very rarely come to class. Because when I would come to class, most of the students would copy what these teachers would do, like their aesthetic, like a dead bird and hands in the snow, okay? What I was doing, I was coming out to the park, and there's a little playground over here, and I was taking pictures of the kids. So I was making little kids my project. And then the parents would ask to buy prints. Took it back to class, showed it, and I was completely destroyed that I was a sellout. I said, that's it, I'm not coming to class again, I will see you when my portfolio's due. So, Tom Drysdale calls me in, and he says to me, you gotta come to class. I said, why? I pay you. I said, I'm not gonna sit here and be lambasted because I get paid for my art. These rich little kids have mommy and daddy paying their bills. I live out in Queens in a studio, and I'm paying for my own education. I don't need them. And that's it, and business is good. And that's it. So I showed up with my senior project, and it was good, and I graduated, scholar, University Honor Scholar.
Great. Okay, what advice do you have for the young people?
Okay, so this really goes for everybody, but I'm really going to fashion it to women now, okay? Because it is very, very clear that we are up against a bigger beast than we thought we were. The patriarchy is responsible for everything from keeping women down to like the atomic bomb. Men have invented all of these things. I think that women are inherently better because we give life, so we're less likely to want to take it away with war. I honestly believe that, okay? You're coming up now, you're getting ready to go out in the world. You've got to put like an invisible armor on you. I had all these guys hitting on me, looking at my portfolio, let me take you to lunch. winking at their friends like I didn't see, okay? But there was always this attitude. I never got nasty, never called them out, but they just knew that it would be a bad idea to push me any further. And I went into a big career starting out in sports with Sports Illustrated. So you can imagine the testosterone I had to deal with, okay? But I won the respect of these guys, and they were world champions because I specialized in the Yankees. So these guys were world champions at that time, backwards and forwards with the Dodgers. But I gained their respect. So there's a way to do that. But they first will look at you as a young woman in a sexual way. They will. Don't listen to what anybody else tells you. You've got to have them think beyond that. Keep it professional and be persistent. No matter what it is you do, you have to be persistent. To be a genius is not enough. Okay? There's lots of geniuses that are unemployed. You have to be persistent. I've run an art business now for 25 years, and I've had a phenomenal career. And I've never had any Me Too problems. I've had some almost Me Too problems where they've tried to position me, but I wiggled out, you know? I was a little bit more shady than they were because I knew what was coming.
They met their match.
Yes, they did meet their match, thanks to our interviewer. Yes, yes. So my advice, the first thing you gotta do is do what makes you happy. This is the advice my late mother gave me. She says, I don't care if you collect garbage. Be the happiest garbage picker-upper in New York. But whatever you do, be happy. You got to do it for 40 years. And then the money will come because you'll be happy. Okay?
Do you think, quick question here, women's rights, they kind of like, do you think it reached its peak in the 60s and then it kind of went back down again, do you think? Because I feel like there was a period of like women's rights era, but then like quickly that kind of like disappeared.
Okay, well, let's put it in historic context. In the early 1900s, in England, a man could sell you at auction with his cows and his lambs. Okay? The suffragettes, we didn't have the vote until what, 1920? I think 1920, if I'm wrong, excuse me. In the 70s, Gloria Steinem and these great Bella Abzug, they're out here marching, and you know, I'm trying to get an education. So I stand on their shoulders, all right? I think that after that, I am a little angry with today's women. Today's women who dress sexually. I'm absolutely livid at the ads that are out. I passed one of I don't want to say the name of the model, but she's actually sitting with a Coach bag between her legs, looking like she's on acid. Okay, this is not helping the movement. You have to be valued for what you bring to the table. But the first thing they're going to look at is the sexuality. But we're buying those products. You've got to stop buying the products that sexualize women. That has caused a slide because we're letting them get away with it. Don't buy those products. If you see an ad like that, do you really need that expensive pocketbook? Do you really? If you think that that is a status symbol that'll up your ego, you have bigger problems. Okay? So yes, to answer your point, we did take a slide. And we all dealt with it, but a lot of us have risen. You know, Maya Angelou, and still I rise. Yes, because one guy said no, go to the other guy. He says no, go to the other guy. He says no, go to the other guy. All right? Tenacity, persistence, don't give up. Okay, look, you're 19, 20, you're out of your mind anyway, okay? Come on. So you want to dress like that, you're running around, the boys. Then there's a time to get mature. You don't go to a job interview like that, okay? You don't go to some kind of formal function that way, okay? There's a time and a place for that if you want to do that. I did it when we were kids. The miniskirt came along. Are you kidding? I went to school in one, all right? But then I started getting wise to what that was doing to me. I was in a gilded cage. And they were only paying attention to me for one reason. And that's not what you want. We are a generation of women whose grandmothers fought World War II. We are an amazing group of women. Had they not fought World War II because their husbands were away, we would not be where we are. But you have to grab onto that, and you have to say to the patriarchy, no. It's a very powerful word. No. But we need you to do this. No. That's it.
Okay, do you want to plug in your social media?
Yeah, so Kimberly Butler. I'm at www.kimberlybutler.com. And I do portraits, I do a lot of celebrities, and I've got The Art of Fear running on there, which is a photographic memoir of my life that I think you'll find fascinating. Read the intro, it's very important, because I grew up in an orphanage. Okay? Number 2, I did Alice in Opioid Land to fight the opioid crisis, because we lost 400,000 people to opioid addiction, thanks to the Sackler family. Okay? So take a look at those and write to me. Write to me on my site and tell me what you think, or if you need advice. Okay? But be strong, because we're a lot stronger than these guys. And we like them. We want to keep them around. But maybe a little bit more in our terms. You know what I'm saying?